Boom, 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 boom. Banner. Hey, Instagram, it's me, T from the Pattersons, taking the train to bed, talking to you via the internet. And it's, guess what? It's blue light. In other words, it's after dawn, and like before, before the 10 minutes before sunrise. So that's blue light. It's like 20 minutes long. And then it goes to like, well, don't worry about that part. And since it's blue light, shout out to Blue Light Brigade. Whoa, 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 Blue Light Brigade. Look, this is a Grand Rising report. I'm supposed to tell you what, Grand Rising report. I'm supposed to. Let me move this back just a bit. I'm supposed. In Grand Rising reports, I'm supposed to tell you what happened in the last within say 48 hours, and maybe project a little bit into the future. And I never know what that means, so a lot of times I'd be messing up. Anyway, but stuff has happened. See, first of all, I had to get my license renewed, but it's like it lapsed a year. I didn't realize this, but in the Virginia license, they like 2 years. You know what I mean? I ain't been here in like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. So my license lapsed last year. Not that I could do anything about it, because about around this time, around my birthday time. And so so in other words, the point is. So I figured, let me go to DMV and renew my license, even though it's a year since it's. They said, oh no, you can't do it. You got to retake the test. The test is very easy. Then I was thinking, I said, well, what for? When I say what for, they won't let me. My sister and her husband, they won't let me drive any of their vehicles. They're that way, right? But my niece, I was actually with my niece. There's this DMV, and basically. In Norfolk, whatever, that is very crowded. But then there's one, she knows all these little things. My niece is quite smart, right? And she goes this other place, like it's like 40 minutes away, but in and out, no problems like that. It's a pleasant ride because here in Virginia, all the trees, the highways, it's not, don't go too fast because, the cops will stop you and they will ticket you. Anyway, so she takes me there, and and so the lady says, well, you have to retake the test and stuff like that. Well, the driving test, the written, it's very easy, Virginia, no problem. But then I was thinking, well, if I get the license, I might not be back for 2 years. But let's say a year and a half. What do I really need a license for? Everybody drives me around. I'm in my niece's car right now. But my sister, well, if you really want it, we can take the test, and you can use my other car. She got a couple of cars. And I said, I'm thinking. I say, well, when I'm in the Eastern Cape, I don't drive. I don't. There's no. Well, I'm in another country. It don't matter. You just jump in the thing. They don't care about no license down there. When I'm in India, nobody asks for license. I'm 3-4 months out of the year in India. Ain't no license. Nobody asks no license, right? And then in Cape Town, Ian drives me, so I don't really need to drive, right? That's not the real thing. Really think that same. But I'm getting a state ID. That's what I'm trying to say. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But then they have that real ID thing, but you don't need a real ID if you have a passport. It's kind of strange. They want to read. I don't know, because most Americans don't have passports. Anyway, so I get back from that, and I'm minding my own business because this right now at my sister's my sister's place is this lake in the background, right? Lakeside house, living a bourgeois life. Oh, that was funny too. I'm sorry. I got to go off just a bit. Before I get to the point, y'all can leave if you want to. But hold on, Blue Light Brigade. I'll get to you in a second. In the car, this is the other day, and somehow it came up, and my niece or somebody said that my sister was bourgeois, right? And my sister from the projects. She's from Patterson Project, so you don't really think of that like that. So freaked out. I said, "Oh no, bourgeois." No. I said, "Yes, you are. You're." But I told her, I said, "You're bourgeois blended." Basically, I mean, she retains the South Bronx, the ghetto kind of thing. She sometimes be very ghetto, but like when she writes, like me, when I write, it's like you go whoa like that, like that, and it depends. Anyway, so boy, so she goes, and she goes off on this stuff. She has a birthday out with one of her friends. They're having a dinner. She said, "Am I bourgeois?" He says, "No, you're bourgeois, but it's a good way." And she asked another friend. I said, "Well, you're bourgeois, but it's like bourgeois people. they got money. She's asking everybody because she don't realize that she's bourgeois. Lakeside house, come on, car, Range Rover, whatever. You're bourgeois, right? It's hilarious, right? So I saw she's actually bourgeois blended. I can't explain it to you, but they're not from my family. Just leave them alone. That's quite funny to me. Anyway, so, well, brother, what are you? Well, I'm like, here's the thing. I'm actually, how could I say it? I'm evolutionary. I'm whatever I need to be wherever I'm at the time. That's all. You know what I mean? If I have to be a villager, I'll be a villager. I retain my intellectual properties, which has sensibilities more than wherever I'm at. So if I'm in the, again, if I'm in a village, I'm a villager. If I'm in a township, I'm in township. I'm in Cape, I'm in the city, I'm in the city. If I'm in India, I'm in India. You know, but then plus I'm older, so I'm an elder wherever I am. It's kind of strange. I've been bourgeois trained. This is kind of interesting because in the cadet corps we were bourgeois trained. It's like think of it like this. The importance of Motown Records, right, is that what's the boy Gordy. What Barry Gordy did, he took Project Kids, like some Project Kids, and then he trained them. Well, they had talent, and that's changed. But then he gave them all the the classes where the etiquette classes, how to eat and what like that. So he trained them how to be bourgeois. You see, when I say if you boule, you already trained from the beginning how to be boule is a little bit different. But you can be trained yourself to be bourgeois. Well, the Cadet Corps did the same thing for us, but instead of being how you say entertainers, they trained us to serve. See, so my thing is a whole other thing, right? So anyway, back to the point. Okay. So Blue Leopard Brigade, come back. We got to talk. Look, I'm also an acolyte of Miss Neely Fuller Jr. And I keep it's sort of not haunting me, but I'm thinking about this. Look, a couple of days ago, I did this because I went off on as an acolyte of Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., you're not supposed to name people or criticize people or call people out their names, right? And it's basically, if somebody says something, so well, that's what they said. You don't really comment on what they said. What do you think? You say, well, I think about this, about that, but you're not supposed to comment on what they said. See what I'm saying? See how that works? So, and I really love Mr. Neely Fuller. I find it. But every once in a while, I got to slip, right? I'm going to give you 3 people. I'm going to call out 3 names and tell you why I have to do it this way, right? And the last one too. In order that they perturbed me, upset me, right? First, the Bill Cosby, the whole pound cake speech. The problem with the Bill Cosby pound cake speech, and forget all the stuff about the sex things, whatever have, is that he's from the projects in Philadelphia where he was, right? With 2 parents, a 2-parent household, right? And then he goes after this boule, a woman, Camilla. She's Jack and Jill. Don't worry about that part. But she goes after that. So he's trying to go from the projects to boule. So he attains that as an entertainer. There's this whole thing about entertainers and their moorings and where they come from or whatever, how they become bourgeois, right? Boule is something else. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even mention that. Boule is you're culturally boule from the beginning. It's like it's a class thing, right? But bourgeois, you can ascend to the bourgeoisie. But a lot of times when people ascend to the bourgeoisie, then what they do is they became, well, they go nuts. So they go nuts. They do whatever they do. It usually has to do with education or proximity to whatever. Okay. So then then he was so long in the bourgeoisie and hanging out with whatever it is, that at some particular point, he decided to talk to the masses, where he came from the project people, not knowing that in the 40 years or whatever, the 50 years that he'd been away from the realities of how even he grew up with a 2-family house, that's something, that things had changed. So he started to basically talk down to people without knowing their current reality, right? It's called being on your high horse. So you have a certain view, you on your high horse, you say, and you're blah, 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 then you move on. Meanwhile, your horse is pooping, and the people are left with the poop and the stench, and you're gone. You know what I mean? You're not staying with them. You're not camping with them and solving the problem, right? You see what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. See what I'm saying? Okay, great. So when when Yvette went off on Sinners, and I'm going like, but you're not a filmmaker. A lot of people, even film critics are not filmmakers. Okay, so criticism is criticism, but the way she did it reminded me of this high horse thing. Like she know whatever happened, and I'm going like, wait a second, Bill. Let me go back to Bill for that. Bill, you're a comedian. You're supposed to be a truth sayer, and then through your comic art, change perspective. Now he did it one time because he did that whole thing with the I got very serious with the whole Black History thing. It was really great half hour, whatever it is, right? But that's not his main thing. You're supposed to solve the problems through comedy, just like you're supposed to do. If that's your main focus. Let me go back to that. So I'm going like, wait a second, what's the? And I realized what it was. It's because it has a thing about found out Black Americans versus ADOS or whatever it is. But the problem I have with it is that you're supposed to be addressing our problems through. Remember, you created a situation where what I call nodes. Nodes are very important, right? Because you have a strong node here and strong nodes all around, and they tender with each other, like a big spider web. Then you can get a lot accomplished like that. So instead of you, not that I expect, I can't tell people what to do, but you need to concentrate on your nodes and strengthen your nodes and speak through your nodes. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just going to criticize something and talk about like you know film, or you know this or you know that, or just because, no, baby, that's not your thing, right? Now the last one, I'm lumping them all together. Bill, Yvette, last one. Dr. Umar Johnson. Well, I was in the car with my niece yesterday coming back. And somehow Umar Johnson came. No, she said, what do you think about Umar Johnson? And I go like, oh boy. and see, my niece knows me. She said, no, don't bust my butt. I like Umar Johnson. I said, look, let me explain something to you. His field, his psychology, what he does. I met Umar Johnson. I talked to him. He's close to. I talked to Umar Johnson one time, right? And I didn't tell her this, but I gave him some advice. This is a long time. This is like 10 years ago. I don't know when. 14. No. It's about 8. Whenever he came to South Africa, I was very impressed because he was at Marcus Garvey Village, which like nobody goes to Marcus Garvey Village in Cape Town, right? And then he was in the Eastern Cape. He was supposed to go to Steve Biko, whatever. So I was hanging. Somehow I was in the group. Well, I was in the group. I was one of the people, right? It's a small group, right? And I saw him do something that's amazing with the psychology, right? Really, it's incredible, the psychology, right? And I said, and at the time I said, look, you keep on going after these preachers, these preachers going after the preachers, you know what I mean? I said, just leave them alone. Basically, I was giving some Mr. Neely Fuller advice, right? Just leave them alone. You really did these Tuesday things. You get the people and you're addressing people like that. You should be doing that. This is before he really. I guess he had the school on his mind, but he really wasn't pushing for the school like that yet, right? And I said, the psychiatry, you really should just concentrate that and don't be calling people out. Don't be jumping on people. It's just like it's unwarranted. Of course, you don't know who I am. Who's gonna listen to me? So okay, fine. But now I got on the internet. What I was telling my niece is this. I said, I didn't say this. Now I'm going to tell you this. He's a modern day race man, but one of those race men that got to comment on everything. It's like he's the politician. I two people telling the same thing. Denny Farrell was hanging with the Jay Raymond, or whatever, Charlie Rangel's political club in New York for a bit. When Jesse Jackson was first running for president, and we got anyway. I was hanging with that in the political crowd like that. And then he found said, you know what a politician is? He sees where the people are going. He jumps in front of the crowd. Basically, she was basically saying, then he speaks for the people that he just jumped in front of. He don't have to know nothing like that because he's got a silver tongue. And I would say, Umar Johnson, he need to do what he's supposed to do and stop jumping in front of everything. and trying to be, he gonna speak for black. Nobody speaks for black people. Least of all, you think you're speaking, what black people are you speaking for? Are you speaking for the boule? Are you speaking for the bourgeois? Are you speaking for the project people? Are you speaking for the ghetto people? Are you speaking for the prisoners? Are you, we have so many stratas in black, whatever, that, you can't speak for the black community, especially not in the United States. You can't do it, okay? But he went and got this whole thing about Ibrahim Traore out, and then it's that voice. It's going like, you need to, don't go for what the Chinese. He's giving this like he knows what he's talking about advice, and he wasn't even paying attention because he said you need to take that cotton and da 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 da. Well, Ibrahim Traore months ago, maybe a year ago, he changed this whole culture with them taking the cotton and then making their own uniforms. You know what I mean? They're doing what he was saying. He's like, you're a year late, my man, right? Then he was saying something else, and don't listen to the Russians and the Chinese. You have to blah blah blah. It's like, what? He said. Then I see what his thing is, and I could be your broker in the United States like that. I'm going like, this boy is out of his mind. You know what I mean? This man is uniting, or he's doing what nobody can do. Nobody has done. He's uniting not only all of Africa and bringing the diaspora together too. You see, they're going to erase the African Union. They're going to erase everything. All the young people know what we talk about, and all worldwide. And you don't need, I would even say it at this particular point. Umar Johnson's an agent, and when I say agent, I don't mean their agent. He's a distractive agent. He's a problem. He's a pimple. Like outside. This is a great book. What is it? It's a long thing by Richard Wright, and one of the characters says, "Oh, I'm just a pimple on the pole of progress." Umar Johnson is a pimple on the pole of progress. He's a problem now. Deal with your schools. Do what you do. Use your degree. Do what you're doing, and just stop talking. Or just stop talking about. Oh, here's sunrise. Oh, sunrise. Hey, sorry, pull back there just a second. The sunrise is east that way, and then we do our morning, our grand rising thing. Here we go. You breathe in through your nose, a big breath, then a smaller breath, and then you breathe out like this. See, like that. Make sure you expand your lungs when you do that. Grand rising. Welcome to the new day. Okay. So now, I am a writer. You can't see this backwards. I'm an artivist. I'm an audio dramatist. If I'm going to do something, I can blah 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 to you guys, but I don't have a lot of followers. But I'm supposed to be causing my evolution, my evolutionary revolution through audio drama. You see? So like that. Hey, Ian, did you get my message? I can't. I will show up in Cape Town on July 7th, on that day, on that morning. We'll figure it out. Don't worry, I'll talk to you later. So look, that's what I do. That's how I'm supposed to cause my little thing of change in the world, being an evolutionary. But I'm an evolutionary, and the revolution I'm causing during this evolution has my vector, my tool of choice is audio drama. You see, so if you Dr. Umar Johnson, your tool of choice is supposed to be psychology. If you're Yvette Cornell, your tool of choice is supposed to be creating your nodes so you can get ADOS going, right? If you're Bill Cosby, your tool of choice is supposed to be comedy and da 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 da. That's your tool of choice. That means that's the only thing you do, but that's your main tool. And if you stop doing that tool and then jump over here and criticize this and criticize that, that's because you want to be a silver tongue. That's something else. Anyway, so I got upset, So when I get upset, I have my own therapy. I write. So these days, I love the internet because they posted whatever he said like that. So I wrote a response and a reply. Do you want to hear the response? I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. Here's what I wrote. This is to Umar Johnson, right? Hey Doc, not for nothing. You really don't know what you be talking about. Unsolicited advice. Somebody call it, like the unsolicited you keep giving everybody and they mama, because he talk about everything, right? Sit your behind down and see what is unfolding. In other words, the boy be jumping without even analyzing. He just, okay. He, our commander-in-chief, talk about Ibrahim earlier, my Commander Ibrahim. He, our commander-in-chief, know what needs to be done. He, our commander-in-chief, the guy from Burkina Faso, he knows what needs to be done, right? He's been doing it. You don't need no advice from some whatever. You in charge. You in charge to do. I'm sorry. You in charge to the snow buddy. I'm sorry. It's funny to me. You in charge to the snow bunny monitoring brigade. Because his old thing, he's a race man. You can't be with white people. You're snow bunnies and I'm suspect with anybody that's married to a white woman, black woman, or a white person like that. Very hilarious, right? Then my last thing is, do your tasks. Well, I have tasks on my parentheses, my brackets is in the S there. Do your tasks and leave the warrior work to us who are built for this phase in our evolutionary revolution. In other words, look, Umar Johnson is not a warrior. He a mouth. He's a distraction. He's a problem. He's a pimple on our polar progress. That's what he is. And one of the things he said, he was talking about, I made the cotton, and I'll be a cotton agent. He said, make that shea butter, right? He don't even know, in the Sahel thing, the people in charge, Mali is like the second biggest thing of shea butter. So Mali is the one that do the shea butter down under the tree right now. Mali is the one that do the shea butter. So he don't even know that. The boy don't even study. He just talk. He just talk out, right? Just talk out. Got to have an opinion on everything instead of what they're doing. Just like Bill Cosby, just talk out. Have an opinion on everything except what they're doing. Okay. Now I then went off. I violated Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. thing. What do you say? Well, they said what they said. I'm not supposed to be commenting on that. I'm in my crucial period, right before my birthday and whatever have you. So I'm gonna try to be good. When I say be good, I'm not gonna violate anymore. I gotta double down. Maybe it's just because I'm at by the lake, whatever it is. But in fact, I'm getting I'm at the other house, the 3981, which adds up to 3. That's where I actually stay. That's where I'm just setting up my whole healing thing there, like that. So I'm really there. So I need to calm down. I do my healing. I'll be all right, like that. I just had to get that off my chest because these are 3 people that just, they're distractions. I hate people. Not saying that I don't hate. Look, you do what you're supposed to do. That's it. Don't be jumping somebody else's lane. Don't be commenting on stuff because you think you know and you ain't know. Just don't do it. And I hate to bust my niece's bubble, but Umar Johnson is no different than all those people that came after the civil rights movement, and then they're civil rights people. They're getting money, pimping off of movements like that. Commander Ibrahim, my commander-in-chief, he doing what he's supposed to do. You follow him. You don't be jumping trying to give him advice that he don't need because he done did that already, right? He way beyond where you are. Okay, I'm through. I said enough. I better call Ian. Let me go call Ian and tell him what the deal is. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.